9-year-old twins dropped to their knees in front of their mother's boss and said something that made grown men cry. "Sir, if you fire our mum, you'll have to kill us first because we can't live without her." The room went dead silent. What happened next shocked everyone in that office. He showed no mercy. But karma was watching.
What is happening in my office?
And it was about to strike back harder than anyone expected. Subscribe to Roots of African Tales and let's watch this incredible story together.
Please, I need this job. Don't fire me. I'll do anything.
The office was filled with tension that morning. From the secretary's desk at the front to the last chair near the window, whispers had spread the entire building. Everyone had heard that. Madam Leela is about to lose her job. Leela was a cleaner in the company. For years, she had mopped the floors, dusted the tables, and scrubbed the toilets. She was always quiet, always humble, greeting everyone with a smile, no matter how tired she was. People called her Mama Twins because she had 2 children, a boy and a girl, about 9 years old. Her life had never been easy. Her husband had abandoned her when the twins were barely walking, leaving her to struggle alone. She worked day and night just to pay their school fees and put food on the table. And yet, in all her pain, she never quarreled with anyone. But today, her job, the little job that kept her children alive, was about to be snatched away. And the reason? Her boss, Mr. Patrick, claimed she had broken company rules. He said she had been careless, that she had lost something valuable. Workers gathered at the corners, shaking their heads. Some pitied her, others feared to even speak. "Oh goodness, Mama Twins are in trouble today," one whispered. That Patrick is heartless," another replied. "Once he says you are finished, you are truly finished." "But what did she even do?" a younger staff member asked. "They said she misplaced the office keys last week. And some files went missing that same night." "Ha, but can we swear it was her? She is not that kind of woman." "It doesn't matter. Once Patrick believes it, who can change his mind?" Inside the office, Leela sat like someone waiting for judgment. Her knees shook, her palms were wet. She knew what losing this job meant. It'll mean hunger, shame, and unpaid school fees. Her boss leaned back in his chair, tapping a pen on the table. His eyes were sharp, his voice was heavy. "Leela," he said, "do you know why you are here?" Her voice trembled. Yes, sir. Good. Then tell me, why did you lose the office keys?" She swallowed hard. "Sir, I didn't lose them. That evening, after mopping, I left the keys on the secretary's table like I always do. I even told her I was leaving. I cannot explain how they disappeared." Patrick narrowed his eyes. "So you mean the keys walked away by themselves? And the missing files, who took them? You?" Tears gathered in her eyes. "Sir, I swear on my life, I did not touch any file. I am only a cleaner. I don't even enter the drawers. Please believe me, sir," but Patrick slammed the pen on the table. "Shut up, I don't need your stories. The truth is simple, you were careless, and this company cannot keep careless workers. Do you know how much damage was done because of those missing files?" Leela bent her head, tears slid down, her chest burned. She wanted to scream that it wasn't her, that she had never stolen a pin in her life. But who would believe her? Patrick had already decided. He raised his voice. "Leela, this company trusted you, and you failed. Do you know how many people are begging me daily for work? Strong men, educated women, all of them. And yet, we kept you here. And this is how you repay us? I am sorry, but you cannot remain in this office. You are dismissed." The words hit her like a hammer. "Dismissed? Oh, number." Her world spun. She bent forward, her tears fell on her file. She knew the suffering it took her to get this job. "Sir, please, I beg you," she cried. "If I lose this job, how will I feed my children? They are still in school. They are still so small. Please, sir, give me one more chance." But Patrick's face was hard with no mercy. He folded his arms, leaning back with a cruel smile. "This is a company, not a charity. We cannot keep workers who causes us loss. Pack your things and leave before the end of today." And outside the office, her twins were waiting. Daniel and Daniela, their 2 small faces pressed together, peeping through the glass door. They saw their mother crying. They saw their boss pointing at the door. They held each other tighter. Their little hearts were pounding. Inside, Leela wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. She thought of her children sitting outside. She thought of their empty lunchboxes, their old school shoes. She thought of the rent she had not paid, and it all broke her the more. "Sir," she whispered again, "please have mercy. I will work harder, I will clean more, and I will never let such a thing happen again. Please, sir, don't take this job away from me." But Patrick only smiled wickedly, and then his face turned hard. "Leela, I said enough. If you keep begging, I will call the guards to drag you out." At that moment, silence filled the office. The secretary looked down, unable to watch. 2 junior staff shook their heads sadly. Nobody dared to speak. Nobody wanted to challenge Patrick. Leela sat frozen, her tears dripping onto her cloth. She felt her whole life crumbling. Then, suddenly, the door creaked open. Everyone turned. 2 small kids walked in, holding hands. It was Daniel and Daniela. The office room went silent immediately. Workers gasped softly. Patrick's eyes widened in surprise. The twins walked straight to their mother. They stood beside her, each of them holding one of her hands. Their little faces were pale, but their eyes were firm. "Mummy, don't cry," Daniel whispered. "Mummy, we are here," Daniela added. Leela shook her head quickly, trying to wave them out. "Go outside, my children. Please, go outside." But they did not move. Patrick frowned. "What is this? Who let children into my office?" He growled in anger. Nobody answered. The secretary's lips trembled, but she kept quiet. Patrick slammed his palm on the desk. "I said who allowed them in. This is not a playground." Still, the twins did not move. Instead, Daniela lifted her chin and spoke. Her little voice trembled, but it was firm. "Sir, please, don't sack our mummy." The office froze. Every head turned slowly. Patrick blinked in disbelief. What did you just say?" Daniel's small hand gripped his mother's tighter. His voice was soft, yet heavy with courage. "Sir, we beg you. Don't take Mummy's job. She works very hard. She wakes up before us every morning. She comes home late every night. She never rests. Please, sir, don't send her away." Leela covered her mouth with her hand, sobbing silently. Patrick stared at them as though he could not believe his ears. "And who are you to speak in this office?" he demanded. Daniela stepped forward. Her tiny body still trembled, but her voice was steady. "We are her children. We are her twins. And if you want to sack her, then sack us too. Because if she goes home with no job, we will starve. We cannot go to school. We cannot survive. So if you send her away, then send us away too." The office was completely silent at this moment. Some workers bit their lips to stop their tears. Others turned away, their eyes wet. Even the secretary quickly wiped her face with a handkerchief. But Patrick's face hardened again. "This is nonsense. Children should not interfere in company matters. Leela, take them out before I lose my patience," he roared. Leela bent her head. Her tears flowed freely. It was a touching moment. Her children were speaking for her, defending her in front of a man who had already judged her. She wanted to protect them, but they refused to move. "Mummy, we are not going," Daniel whispered. His small voice broke as he spoke. "Mummy, we will not leave you," Daniela said firmly. Leela hugged them tightly. Her body shook with sobs. The office air grew heavy. Everyone waited, their hearts raced. Patrick's chair creaked as he leaned forward. His eyes were dark and his voice sharp. "Very well," he said slowly. "Since your children want to stand here, then let them hear the truth. Leela, you lost the company's trust, and no child's tears will change that. You are fired. Take your trashy selves and get out of my office." The words fell like stones in the room. Leela's body collapsed forward. The twins held her tighter. The workers shook their heads. But nobody dared to speak against Patrick. Nobody. Yet. The office was silent, yet heavy with tension. You could almost hear hearts beating. Leela sat frozen, her arms wrapped around her twins, tears flowed like rain. Her boss, Mr. Patrick, had spoken the final word. "You are fired." The words echoed again and again in her ears, like thunder refusing to fade, but still the twins did not move. They held their mother even tighter, as though their small arms could protect her from the cruelty of the world. "Mummy, don't cry," Daniel whispered again. His own tears poured down uncontrollably as he pressed his cheek against her arm. "Mummy, we will not let them take your job," Daniela added. Her voice trembled, but strong. Patrick slammed his palm on the table. His face was red with irritation. "This nonsense must stop now. Leela, remove these children before I call security." Leela's lips shook. "Sir, please, they are only children. Let me talk to them. Please don't be angry," she whispered. But the twins turned to face Patrick. Their small faces were filled with tears. "Uncle, boss," Daniel said softly, "please, don't send Mummy away. We're begging you. She is all we have. We don't have anybody else. And this job means a lot to her." "Yes," Daniela added, nodding quickly. "We don't even know our daddy. He left us when we were small. Mummy is the only one taking care of us. If you sack her, what will happen to us? Please, sir. We beg you." The office went still again. Some workers sobbed quietly. It was an emotional moment. A man in the corner bit his lip, trying not to cry. But Patrick only leaned back in his chair. His expression hardened even more. "This is a workplace, not a pity party. Children, your mother made a mistake, and she cannot remain here." Daniela shook her head quickly. "No, sir. Our mummy is not careless. She never loses anything. Even at home, she always keeps things safe. If something got lost, then it cannot be her fault." Patrick narrowed his eyes. "And how do you know that?" "Because we know our mummy," Daniel answered quietly. "We live with her. We see how she keeps everything. She never loses even small amounts of money. She is not careless." Leela covered her face with her palm. Her tears dripped between her fingers. Her children were defending her with all their little hearts, yet the man before them seemed not to show any remorse or pity. "Enough of this," Patrick barked again. "I will not waste the company's time listening to children's stories. Leela, get out of this office. Right. Now." Leela shivered. Her hands trembled as she tried to stand, but her twins still gripped her arms tightly, refusing to let her go. "No," Daniel shouted again. His little voice echoed in the room. "We will not allow you to send her away." The entire office gasped. Patrick's eyes widened, his lips pressed into a thin line. "What did you just say to me?" he asked, shocked by the audacity. Daniela stepped in front of her mother, her small arms stretched out like a shield. Her lips trembled, but her voice was steady. "We will not let you send her away. If you want to sack her, then sack us too. If you throw her out, then throw us out also." The words hit everyone like lightning. Some workers quickly covered their mouths, shocked. Others exchanged glances. Their eyes were full of pity and pain. Patrick banged his fists on the table. "This is madness. Do you children think this is a joke? Do you know who I am? He shouted. Daniel wiped his tears with the back of his hand. "Yes, sir," he said in a shaky voice. "You are the boss. But you are also a man. A man should have a heart. Please, sir, don't punish our mummy. If you do, you are punishing us too." This moment, Leela broke down completely. She bent forward, sobbing loudly, hugging both of them to her chest. "My children, please stop. You will get into trouble," she whispered. But they shook their heads. They would not stop. The office atmosphere was unbearable now. The secretary couldn't hold back her tears anymore. One junior staff member turned away to wipe his eyes. Still, Patrick refused to soften. "This office is not run by children. Leela, if you cannot control them, I will call security right now." He pressed the button on his desk. And almost immediately, 2 uniformed guards appeared at the door. The workers gasped again. Leela panicked. She hugged her twins tighter, whispering desperately, "Please, please don't talk again. Let us go. I cannot let them hurt you." But the twins did not move. They stood firm, their small faces lifted toward Patrick. "Sir," Daniela said with tears streaming down his face, "we are not afraid. You can call the guards, you can chase us away. But we will never allow you to sack our mummy with us standing here. We will never, again." The words shook the room. Even the guards at the door paused, looking at each other, unsure whether to move or not. Patrick's chest rose and fell quickly. His face was filled with anger, but also something else, a kind of discomfort. A moment of hesitation, but he quickly covered it with rage. "Guards, take this woman and her trash out!" The guards stepped forward, but before they could touch anyone, Daniel shouted again, "Wait! Sir, please listen to me first." The guards froze, turning to Patrick for instructions. Patrick waved his hand impatiently. "Fine. Speak. And after that, you will all leave this office." Daniel wiped his face again and took a deep, shaky breath. His voice was small, but in the silence, it sounded clear. "Sir, when you sit in this office, you see us as just a cleaner and her children. But to us, she is our whole world. She struggles to provide us food, even when she doesn't eat herself. She works really hard. Sometimes she comes home so tired, her feet are swollen, but she still sings for us until we sleep. We don't want much, sir. We only want our mummy to be safe. If you take this job, you are taking away our life." At this moment, the office was drowned in tears. Workers couldn't control themselves anymore. They wept openly. The secretary sobbed. Even the guard's eyes filled with tears from the emotions. Daniela took over. Her small voice was sharp with pain. "Sir, you are our boss. You can do anything. But please, we beg you, don't take this job away from us. If you do, we don't know how we would survive. We will stand as guarantors for her. If she makes any mistake again, punish us too. Beat us, chase us, anything you want. But please, let her stay." The room broke into whispers. "Jesus, these children," someone muttered. "Ha! Who has ever seen such courage?" another said. "My God, these twins are speaking like adults," a woman cried softly. Leela wept uncontrollably. Her arms trembled as she held them close. But Patrick's face was unreadable. He leaned back slowly, staring at the twins. His eyes narrowed, his jaw tightened. "Guarantors," he repeated slowly. Daniela nodded firmly. "Yes, sir. We stand for her. If she makes a mistake again, blame us. But please, don't sack her today." The office fell into a deeper silence than before. Everyone waited, their hearts pounded. Patrick tapped his pen on the desk, his eyes locked on the children. Finally, he leaned forward. His voice was sharp as he spoke again. "Do you even know what it means to be guarantors? Do you think this is a school game? You are children. You cannot guarantee anything." Daniel lifted his chin. His small voice still trembled but steady. "We know, sir. It means we are promising with our lives. We may be small, but we are serious. And we are ready." Again, the words struck the room like thunder. Every worker felt chills run down their spine. Patrick's lips tightened. His face turned pale. For the first time, his confidence seemed to crack. But he quickly forced a smile, shaking his head arrogantly. "This is ridiculous. I cannot waste any more time listening to all this rubbish. Leela, take your children and leave. You are still fired." The twins gasped. Leela collapsed in sobs. But suddenly, before anyone could move, the office door creaked open again. Everyone turned their heads at once. And in that moment, the story shifted in a way nobody expected. A tall man stepped in, dressed in a simple grey suit. His face was calm, his steps were slow but steady. His eyes carried authority, and his presence filled the room immediately. Patrick froze. His confident smile disappeared. Workers straightened in their chairs. The secretary quickly stood up, stammering, Good morning, sir." Leela looked up in confusion. She had never seen this man before. The twins held her hands tighter, staring at him with wide, tearful eyes. The man walked forward. His eyes scanned the room, looking briefly at Leela and her children before locking onto Patrick. "Patrick," he said in a deep voice, "what exactly is happening here?" Patrick cleared his throat quickly, forcing a laugh. "Oh, sir, I didn't know you were coming this morning. I was just handling a small matter. Nothing serious." The man raised an eyebrow. "Nothing serious?" He glanced at the trembling woman and her two children. "This looks very serious to me." Workers exchanged glances, whispering quietly. The man adjusted his suit and turned to Leela. "Madam, who are you? And why are these children here, begging with tears in their eyes?" Leela bent her head quickly, wiping her tears. Her voice shook. "Sir, my name is Leela. I am one of the cleaners here. I was accused of losing the office keys and some files. My boss said I should leave, that I'm fired, but my children are only pleading for me not to lose the job." The man's eyes softened for a moment. He looked at the twins. Their faces were filled with tears, but their eyes were strong. His lips pressed into a firm line. He turned back to Patrick. "And you were about to throw her out?" "Just like that, without proof?" Patrick stiffened. "Sir, with all due respect, she was careless. The keys disappeared under her watch, and files went missing the same night. We cannot keep such a worker." The man folded his arms. "Tell me, Patrick, do you have evidence that she lost them? Did you see her misplace the keys? Did anyone?" Patrick hesitated. "No, but," he stammered, "did anyone see her take the files?" Patrick swallowed hard. "No, but she was the last to close that day." The man's eyes sharpened. "And that is your proof? Circumstances? Do you run this company on assumptions, Patrick?" Patrick's face turned pale. He stammered, Sir, I was only protecting the company's interest." The man stepped closer, and his voice was stern. "No, Patrick. You were protecting your pride." Gasps filled the office. Workers stared wide-eyed. Patrick's lips trembled, but he couldn't say a word. The man turned back to Leela and her children. His eyes softened again. He bent slightly, lowering himself to the twins' level. "My dear children," he said gently, "I heard you offered to stand as guarantors for your mother. Do you understand what that means?" Daniel wiped his eyes and nodded. "Yes, sir. It means if she makes a mistake again, you can punish us too." The man's eyes filled with tears. He touched Daniel's small shoulder, then Daniela's. "That is a heavy promise. Do you know, many adults are afraid to make such promises. But you too, you stood here bravely and defended your mother in front of everyone. That is courage. That is love." Tears spilled down the secretary's cheeks. Some workers sobbed quietly. Leela bent forward. Her voice broke. "Sir, I am sorry for this embarrassment. I told them to stay outside, but they refused. Please don't punish them. Punish me, but not them." The man shook his head. "No, Leela. Your children are not an embarrassment. They are a testimony. Today, they reminded this office of what loyalty and love look like." He stood upright again. His eyes were cold as they turned to Patrick. "And you? What have you shown today? Cruelty, pride, arrogance. You were ready to throw away a faithful worker without proof, and worse, you humiliated her in front of her children." Patrick's lips parted. His voice was small now. "Sir, I didn't mean to." He stammered. "Enough," the man thundered. His voice shook the office. "I have seen enough." Workers flinched. Even the secretary's eyes widened in shock. The man straightened his shoulders and said, "For the record, let me introduce myself properly. My name is Mr. Houston. I am not only the director of this company, I am also the owner." The office erupted. Gasps, whispers, murmurs filled everywhere. Some workers quickly stood up, shocked to their bones. Patrick's face turned pale. Sweat broke out on his forehead. He had seen him with some of the shareholders, but he had never imagined he was the actual owner of the company, the true billionaire. Sir, you are the owner, but you never," Patrick stammered. Mr. Houston raised his hand. "Yes, Patrick. I own this place, and I have been watching everything, even when you thought I was not. Today I came quietly because I heard disturbing rumors, and now I have seen it with my own eyes." Leela gasped softly. Her hand flew to her chest. Her twins stared at him in shock. He continued. His voice was firm. "Leela, you are not fired. From today, your job is secure. In fact, you will no longer be treated like just a cleaner. You will be moved to the administration department, where you will receive better pay. Your dedication deserves it." The office exploded with gasps again. Leela dropped to her knees, sobbing. Sir, I don't deserve this. Thank you, thank you." Her twins hugged her tightly. Their small voices echoed as they also cried with joy. "Mummy, did you hear? You are not sacked. You will stay." Workers clapped softly, tears ran down their faces, but Mr. Houston wasn't done. He turned sharply to Patrick. His voice grew cold again. "As for you, Patrick, I trusted you with this office. But today you have shown your true colors. You bullied a helpless woman and humiliated her before her children. You judged without proof. That is not leadership. It is wickedness." Patrick fell to his knees, shaking. "Sir, please forgive me. I only wanted to protect the company." "The company?" Houston scoffed. "No. You wanted to protect your power, and for that you will face consequences. From today you are suspended. Indefinitely. This office needs leaders with compassion, not tyrants." Patrick's jaw dropped. His voice cracked. "Sir, please. Don't do this. My family—" "I have a fam," Houston cut him short. "Did you remember your family when you tried to destroy Leela's?" He snapped. Patrick bowed his head. Tears rolled down his face. The workers murmured in shock. Some shook their heads, whispering, "Justice has spoken today." Mr. Houston turned again to Leela. His eyes softened as he looked at her twins. "Children, today you have done what even adults fear to do. You spoke truth to power. You defended your mother with courage. This company will never forget what you did here." Daniela wiped her nose and teary eyes. "Thank you, sir. Thank you for listening to us," she whispered. Daniel added softly, "God bless you, sir." Mr. Houston smiled gently. "And God bless you too, my children." He extended his hand to Leela, helping her rise. She trembled as she stood, tears still pouring from her eyes. Her twins held her hands tightly, their little hearts beat with relief and pride. The room was filled with emotions too deep for words. Workers wiped their eyes, guards lowered their heads, the secretary sobbed too. As Mr. Houston walked out, he left behind a silence heavy with lessons. Leela and her twins walked slowly toward the door, but unlike before, they did not look defeated. Their heads were high and their steps were steady. Workers whispered blessings and wished they had the kind of children like Leela's twins. Patrick sat frozen in his chair, burying his face in his palms. The proud boss who once mocked tears now drowned in his own shame. Dear friends, true courage is shown not only in big times, but also in quiet, difficult moments. If children could stand up for what's right, adults have no excuse to remain silent in the face of injustice. We all have a voice and a responsibility to use it. Don't wait for others to act. Stand up, speak out, and do what is right. Remember, pride, arrogance, and heartlessness can lead to an unexpected downfall and Leela, just like it did for Patrick. What do you think? Did Leela and her twins deserve the sudden uplifting they got? And should Patrick be forgiven for his pride, or should he face even harsher punishment? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Roots of the African Tales for more powerful stories like this one.